Watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, there hasn't been this much buzz surrounding the heavyweight division in quite some time. I mean, there are a lot of fights that are being made right now, and we are going to get to see a lot of young, new talent in the heavyweight division. You got Berman Stavern versus Deontay Wilder in the makings right now. You have Tyson Fury, who's now facing Alexander Ustinov for the #1 spot in the heavyweight division. Whoever wins that fight will have a shot at Klitschko. And then you have this fight right here, Brian Jennings versus Mike Perez. I done told you guys on numerous occasions that I truly believe out of all of the heavyweight prospects, Brian Jennings is the most complete fighter. He reminds me of somewhat of a heavyweight Andre Ward, but he's a heavyweight, so he's getting more knockouts. Now, when I first watched Brian Jennings, I didn't think anything of him. I just thought of another undefeated heavyweight. But the more he fought, the more I've seen progression. He has evolved into something complete as far as I'm concerned. This man, he can box like a welterweight, and then he can get in the inside and bang like a heavyweight. As far as I'm concerned, Brian Jennings is the smartest fighter in the heavyweight division right now. And we all know that brains usually beats bronze 9 times out of 10. But he has a little bit of brawn too, so he's a double threat. Now, the undefeated Mike Perez, he's no pushover either. He's a pretty good fighter, but the problem with Mike Perez, at least from the fights that I've seen previously, he doesn't really have that much of a defense. He gets hit a little bit too often. And going in there with a guy who's a thinker, it seems to me like he's going to get touched up a lot this Saturday. So I expect Brian Jennings to really put on a show, look very impressive against the undefeated Mike Perez, possibly even knocking him out and continuing his journey to becoming the best heavyweight in the world. Obviously, I can be wrong. There's a lot of talent out there, but I'm just telling you that if I could put my money on one of these heavyweights to go the furthest, I would put my money on Brian Jennings. It'll be really fun watching all of these guys fight against each other. Like I said, you got Andy Ruiz, Brian Jennings, Berman Stavern, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. I mean, it is a nice little circle of heavyweights that we have right now. Oh yeah, and there's another heavyweight out there, but he's taking baby steps right now. But he as well looks like a very complete fighter, and that is UK's Anthony Joshua. Very gifted, very talented, gold medalist from the Olympics. That alone says a whole lot. But you know, lately, these UK fighters, they've been having a bad reputation of going undefeated for quite some time, looking very impressive in the ring. Then all of a sudden, they get in the ring with some journeyman, and he ends up beating them. And then they look very overrated, a la Audley Harrison. Audley Harrison, this man looked like the most gifted, talented heavyweight fighter I had seen since Lennox Lewis. I mean, he damn near looked better than Lennox Lewis when Audley Harrison was coming up. Then all of a sudden, he takes a minor step up against journeyman at the time, Danny Williams, and Dominic Gwynn, and he loses to both of those guys. So we'll see if Anthony Joshua can avoid the Audley Harrison curse. But for now, like I said, we have Brian Jennings versus Mike Perez. It is a WBC Eliminator, so there's a lot on the line when it comes to this fight. And this is both fighters' biggest test. But I truly believe that Brian Jennings, he will pass this test with flying colors and move on to the next. Just like I'm about to do right now. I'm on to the next one.